All right, guys, Dr. Dex here. Welcome to the Dr. Dex podcast. If you enjoyed that amazing intro music, that was done by my very own DJ studio man, Calvin Russell, my son. Give him a follow. He does some really killer... I'm going to go ahead and plug you right now, okay, Calvin, before we even get started.
Let's go ahead and cut it.
There's going to be a... Oh, yeah, you're editing this. Oh, I didn't even think about that. You know,
I'm in control.
You could make me either look really good or really, really bad, huh?
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, well, anyways, this week I've been looking forward to this. A good friend of mine, his name is Mr. Robert Hodachak. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Pretty close. Hodachak,
All right.
yeah.
Hodachak?
Yep.
And you're out of Ontario, Canada?
That's correct.
Or close... Okay.
Yeah.
See, some guys get offended if they're in Canada and I say Ontario, but they're like New Brunswick or somewhere else.
No. I'm right between Toronto and Niagara Falls, right in the middle.
Perfect. Okay. I just went there last October, Niagara Falls. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
So Robert is a master. I mean, a top tier Jedi Knight of video graphics, deck design, but the man's when you say deck designer, man, that doesn't do this guy any justice at all. He's done some killer stuff for me, and probably took him 5 minutes to make it, but it would have took me 5 hours, and it wouldn't be as good. But Robert has an incredible set of skills. Robert, tell me a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, and what you're currently doing, and then we're going to hit the rewind button a little bit.
Sure. Robert Hodachak. I'm a landscape designer, I guess you can say, that has an infatuation and love for decks and structures. So, in terms of where I've been in school, I've done a lot of different things. Was in the sales and design side of the business, and then decided that, hey, you know what? I really enjoy the full out design aspect. So I honed in my skills and went forward with going out with 3D designs and designing for everybody around the country, pretty much.
Yeah. Now you're really good at graphics art as well.
Yes. Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, holy crap! Just a little video of whatever you want to call that. What do you call that thing you sent me last night?
Oh, just a promo poster.
Was that a little graphic?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a promo poster. Okay, so you're so innovative with your promo posters and things like that, man. Like if you really wanted to, you could probably just like freelance for movies and in Hollywood and things like that, because your skills are comparable, in my opinion, to most really in-depth graphic artists. That's the cool thing about graphic art. Is it's all interpretive of the person doing it, you know?
Yeah.
And I just enjoy every time. You never cease to amaze me, man. Like
I try to keep everybody on their toes.
Totally. Totally.
And if I do the same thing twice, I get bored, so.
All right. It definitely keeps your brain stimulated and moving in different directions.
That's right.
So before we get all up into like your main current things of what you're doing.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about growing up. Like, did you grow up in Ontario as well, or?
Yeah, I grew up in a city called Hamilton. It is in between Toronto and Niagara Falls. My father was a truck driver. Hamilton is pretty much similar to a Pittsburgh, where it's steel. It's a steel city. A lot of blue-collar workers, a lot of, either you're in construction or you're in the warehouse, moving steel. So two things that, growing up, I, played baseball and I wrestled. Ironically, I know you had John, my business partner there. We both have the same kind of background. I played baseball until I was 18 for the local intercounty league called the Hamilton Cardinals, and then just kind of fell in love with money and girls, I guess.
Yeah, those are two amazing things.
Yep.
I personally myself enjoy those as well.
Yeah. Well,
so, so you're okay. So, what position did you play in baseball?
I started off in my younger years center field, and then I started pitching. I'm a left-handed pitcher, so we were rare at the time. So, it was pretty successful at least when I played. It wasn't the best, and obviously I'm not playing in the major leagues, so I had to find something else. But it was fun while it lasted.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was kind of that way with football. It was fun through high school, and then too short.
That's it.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yep, not big enough. Cool. Okay, so what in junior high school you were playing baseball? Were you into academics at all, or?
Yeah. I was at the time I was into actually a lot of communication technology. So it was either film, video, arts, anything that was outlined in creativity and trying to use those resources. English was not one of my best subjects, but math was really one of my better subjects, and just kind of grew through there. At the time, this was all before a lot of technology was out. When I went to actual college, Windows 95 didn't even come out yet. So, we were still working in old DOS systems and things like that.
Slow and lethargic. Yeah, DOS.
Yep.
Oh, man. Enter this command and you might get this to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And for me, I was well out of school by then, and trying to learn that stuff without any kind of guidance or a mentor or anything, that was vicious.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, my high school class, we had the communication technology class, which was really it was phenomenal because it was a lot of equipment that a lot of schools didn't have. Learning the computer programs, learning the Corel draws and things like that. It was one of those things that, it was still, all brand new and exciting for everybody. And for me, that's actually, where it all stemmed from. That's where the seed was planted.
That's really cool that you were able to kind of Photoshop and all that was coming out, and you were getting into it early, like the earlier versions of those softwares where you're getting a really good impression of them in high school. That's cool. So you went to college?
Yeah, I went to college actually for graphic design. But again,
really? Okay.
Yeah. We did back then. It was still a lot of hand drawing, a lot of cutting out and working with materials that way. It was the old school methods. The Windows 95 was just coming out, so I actually taught the teacher how to use the program. After that took place, it was one of those items that you don't always have to be here, I guess. So it kind of got a little boring for me. So I was still full of a whole bunch of energy, and I needed a way to release that energy, I guess you could say.
Was that? I'm sorry. Was that college?
That was college. Yeah.
We were just.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So did you get a 4-year degree?
No, it was only a 2-year course at the time, so I didn't have.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a big course, and like I said, there wasn't. After we did the practical, hands-on stuff, the rest of the year was on computer stuff that I was really just helping.
You already knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were more like a teacher. They should have been paying you to go to college instead of you paying them, huh?
I believe in that. Yes, for sure.
Hey, man, if the shoe fits. So if you guys hear a little bit of lawnmowers, it's because we're on a job site and it's Friday, so it's lawn day. And sometimes they come before our podcast, but sometimes they want to interrupt our podcast. So if you guys hear that, I apologize now, but we're just going to keep rolling through it, okay? All right. Okay, so you get this too. Is it a certificate, or do they give you some kind of accreditation?
Yeah, it's a certificate. It's basically you've gone to college, and it's
okay.
So it's got all the same ramifications. But
sure,
of course, at the time I was again full of energy, so I really didn't want to sit in front of a computer for the rest of my life. At least I didn't think I wanted to. So what did you do at that point? You got the certificate. Yeah, I got into sales. I got into retail sales at first. That's what actually put me through school. And then from there, I got into realized where the money was, or where it was going, and went into construction material sales.
Okay, so retail sales. What were you doing that?
In clothing.
Just so we know.
Actually, ironically,
Excuse me?
in clothing.
Yeah, okay, all right. So was it like fashionable clothing
Yes.
or just everyday wear or what?
Trendy
fashion?
clothing. It was fashion forward stuff. So.
Okay, so Andrew Panelidis we had on a few weeks ago, and he actually was in fashion as well in his younger years. So that's interesting that it seems like that Ontario area, a lot of you guys are into that kind of thing. That's cool.
You look good, you feel good, right?
That's right. So, okay, so you got into and then you went into building materials?
Yeah, I got into building materials. I realized that retail and sales that way, it's got a limitation to itself. At least that's how I felt. So I figured if I wanted to make some money and put food on my plate and stuff like that, I had to get into construction. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you do there?
Started off actually with antique wood. I worked for a company that reclaimed old barns and milled down the wood into hardwood flooring or mantles, beam work, stuff like that. So it was old hand hewed beams, denailing them.
Were you? Okay, so you were hands-on, like working with the old materials and crafting it?
Actually, more. I did a little bit of that, but it was on the sales side of it. So
Okay.
Sale,
cool.
At least for the long period of my early career, I thought I was more of a salesperson than anything else. So I went for jobs that were sales oriented. Still, full of piss and vinegar. So I just say, I didn't think I wanted to sit in front of that computer for very long.
Sure.
But
so you got you did your 2-year certificate. You're like, okay, I got this degree now, but I don't want to sit in front of a computer. So I went and sold clothes for how long?
11 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So see, I don't see the timeline yet, but I'm starting to.
Yeah.
So
that way, well, I was doing the retail sales while I was in school too, right from high school. So
okay, that was fair enough.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe 2 years of retail sales, but you went from like during college to after college for several years.
Yeah, managing
you were selling
stores.
clothing.
Like I used to manage.
No wonder you look so fly every time I see you, man.
Well, again, it's
the hats.
I got a reputation.
Man, I guess I just never put 2 and 2 together, but now it's all for me personally. It's coming together.
Yeah,
this is again, and I say this every episode, but this is why I love doing this podcast because I find out so much more about my guests.
Yeah,
that I never knew. Like we've just never happened to have that discussion before, right?
That's right.
So then so now you're in your like early 30s or late 20s
late
with the
20s.
clothing.
Yep.
Okay.
Late 20s.
And then you decide, okay, I'm going to go into the building materials in sales.
Yep.
So you're in your late 20s. Now, how far does that take you?
Well, I was doing the antique wood for probably a couple of years. In the same time, I met a gentleman that owned an artificial grass company. The artificial grass company was, especially at the time, was really just in the sports field application. Down in California, down in pretty much all over North America, into Europe and whatnot. But we had a couple dinner parties and different things. I would say, hey, you know what? If you ever went residential with the product, because I see a big avenue for that, for lawn replacements, putting greens, things like that, I'd love to sell your product for you. He took me up on the offer. He created a startup, and from there we created what's now called AGL Grass. It's artificial grass and landscaping. It's a big brand, especially in the southern states, and came out of Canada here. And from there, that was fun because at the beginning, no one knew about the product. No one thought about it as a lawn replacement product. So it was.
How long did you do that for?
I did that for about 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have almost 20 years in retail, clothing and building materials.
Yeah.
In sales.
In sales, and more specifically on the sales side. Now, with the artificial grass company, kind of how it was where my design aspect started coming back to me, because every time we did a lawn replacement or a landscape, we had to show design somehow, or how are we going to lay this out? How are we going to do this? So at that time, early in working with that business, I was introduced to the program actually that I use now to do all my design, which is SketchUp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is starting to come together now. Okay, so you're coming. Let's see. Okay, so you do the grass sales, and then you get into the graphics again, which you're fully capable. And then is that when like a light bulb went off?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
It was more and more recreating houses, recreating these landscapes. And I always had an absolute love for landscaping. Bringing people outdoors was always, bringing myself outdoors was very appealing to me at the time. So with doing,
so you're close to 40 years old at this point.
Yeah, well, actually, if we think about that, we're probably late 30s.
Okay.
Late 30s, realistically.
Let's call it late 30s. And have you been introduced or started participating in social media yet? At that point?
Yes, because at that time it was just starting to come out. Facebook was just coming out, or being popular. So, still back then it was a lot of videos that, I had the luxury of being on a lot of TV shows with the artificial grass business. And
really?
Yeah. Designing Spaces is one I shot in California.
Okay.
And
oh, really?
It was introducing the product because it was such a new and innovative product. So, and at that time, that's how I was kind of introduced to social media.
Okay, cool. Because that's kind of how I got to know you, I think.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know if it was at the trade shows or through social.
I think it started through social, and then we finally met at one of the trade shows when I joined the industry.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. But I still want to get the full spectrum of Robert.
Yep.
Hodacek.
Yep.
Hodacek. I've always called you Hodacek, and you never once.
Most people will
me.
use that version of it, but it's proper pronunciation is Hodacek.
I actually am big on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Personally, I still might forget it and call you, but now I'll start saying Hodacek.
Well,
Hodacek.
There you go. As I say, Rousseau.
Yeah, sure. Hey, it's all good, man. Potato, man.
You got it.
Right?
Yep.
Here come the weed whackers. Anyway, okay, so that's what makes our podcast cool, man. We get disruptive.
Yeah.
We got trains, planes, and all kinds of cool stuff going on in the background of our podcast. All right, so cool. So now you're still with the grass company.
Yep.
You're actually starting to take your skill set and turn it into something probably bigger than just designing large yard landscapes for people.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There's a limitation to the artificial grass business to a certain degree. Like, again, full of energy, a little, maybe call it ADHD, just ready to go. And, I selling grass to me was, it's a good joke, but the reality to it is, I don't know if that was all I wanted to do.
Sure.
I started looking at actually other products, and I came across, a company local that was in the deck business. And
okay.
The team, but the team at
I do.
work.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Are we not talking about them?
No, we're absolutely there. I love those guys.
It's up. Hey, it's completely up to you. Okay, so we'll give them a shout out.
Yeah. No, it was.
So is that when you met Terry and Stan, or how did all that? Tell me how that. Okay, and the company we're talking about is called
Deck Store.
Deck Store.
Yep, the Deck Store.
Yeah.
They had 7 locations, 17 crews. One of the largest deck building companies in the Ontario market. I was introduced to them. I actually went in there selling grass and came out with a job pretty much.
So Terry latched on you straight away.
Absolutely.
He saw you and he saw your ability and said, I won't say, because you'll have to bleep this out if I do. Mm-hmm. Terry has quite a colorful mouth,
yes.
But he probably said something to the point of, Okay, I'm just gonna say it. You ready to? He probably said, "Mother, I gotta have this mother on my mother team."
Yeah, we got yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Dot. Yeah. No, we got along very well. He's the guy has got one of the biggest hearts in the world, and he may just have.
You just got to get around. You got to get around the rockery of the outside of it first. You got to chisel it down.
A little rough around the edges, but you know what? God bless the guy. I have personal love for him.
He's very successful, man.
Absolutely.
And still is. I don't know his current. I saw him and Stan at JLC Live like not too long ago.
Yep.
And we had a quick discussion. I asked him about the decking products, and he was a little mixed on the answer he gave me. And I was just like, "Hey, man, no worries."
Yep.
I didn't say that to hurt your feelings, man. I was just curious, honestly curious, because after a while he was all in with the promotion and the being. I'm not gonna say famous, but just being in the moment online.
Yep.
And then he kind of took a turn, like, you know what? I just want to make money. I don't need to put my face on everything and be in the camera.
Yep.
I just want to focus on how I'm going to make more money.
Yeah, we tried to get him in front of the camera a lot. At that time, me coming in, I was the scapegoat. Hey Rob, go do this or go do that, and that's really how I guess I made my first impression in the deck industry was through the stuff that we put on social media.
Well, you at some point, so you got hired. Now, did they hire you strictly as a designer for their company?
They're set up in a way that they have a design sales approach. So you're really a salesperson that designs decks, and then there was a very big team effort. There was at one point 20 designers on staff.
Well, you had Lawrence there for a while.
Yeah,
were you like the main designer, and then everybody else kind of like was underneath you?
Not necessarily. We basically we're all our own people, but I had the title of head designer, and that was only more so. I didn't have to ever police people like Lawrence or whatever, or help him out. Maybe on the 3D rendering side at first, but he learned the things along the way. The other side of it was more the younger staff, the newer staff. They were good salespeople, but they weren't so good on the presentation side or the design side. So that's where I'm
sure that kept you very busy. If you're cracking 20 people and half of them can't design on a computer, and the thing is, like, I could give you one of my designs and you just kind of laugh at it. And then you could turn it into a Deck Da Vinci. I mean, like a Rembrandt or something.
We work from graph paper. So the rule was like Terry and Stan, they're old school. So it was graph paper and handwritten drawings. I actually had to, if I sold a job, I had all my pretty pictures and all my graphics. But I actually still had to sit down and put it on graph paper for the rest of the team, because even some of the older builders on the team, they read graph paper, they read squares, So
yeah, that's funny you say that, because I've actually submitted full color framing designs to building departments.
Yep.
And some of them absolutely love it because it totally understands what I'm doing. But then there's a couple older dudes that are like, "This is crap.
Yeah,
I can't believe you submitted this." And I just want an old-fashioned black and white design. I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, thanks for wasting my time, because I could have done that in 20 minutes."
Yeah, I had to learn to go backwards. So
that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah, I'm saying that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long were you with the deck store?
I was with them for 7 years.
Now, in that 7 years, I probably knew you for at least 5 of those years.
Yeah, it was early. It was early.
It was very early when we got connected. I don't know what happened there or why, but okay. So what I recall is it was at an IBS. The first time I met Terry and Stan, they already knew who I was.
Yep. Yeah, it was your presence on social media. It was the stuff that you were turning out. For me, it was appealing. It was inspirational. So
cool.
Thank you. It was allowing me to know what I can get away with and what I couldn't get away with, right?
Sure, why not?
And
There's no policing on this stuff.
No, it was pure, admiration, and I think that's what it comes to.
Wow.
I think it was one of those items that I was inspired by yourself. I was inspired by Paula France. I was inspired by John Lee. And I was absorbing it all to make myself who I am now. It's
Sure.
one of those things that. But social media was that outlet to allow us to see what everybody else is doing around the country, and then there's an award event that you can put some designs into an award and win.
Sure, yeah,
Wow.
you can enter stuff and win. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, when you and here you go. When you really apply yourself, you can sweep.
Yes, that is true.
You can pull multiples, man. It's crazy how and good verbiage can go a long way with good photographs and good video.
Yeah.
And you put it all together, and then you got yourself something that's very inspirational that a lot of people can resonate with. Mm-hmm. And I've been really lucky in that aspect but to come along and go along this ride and meet these people. Yep. And meet somebody like you that you just connect with.
Yeah.
And it's just the little things in life. So, okay, because remember this, Robert, me building those displays for Regal for the International Builder Show out of Tiva.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was several, that was a while back.
That was a while back too, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, how long were you at the deck store before they came out with their own deck board?
Oh, geez. I think that was there was a lot of talking behind the scenes for that. I think it was one of those things that I think it rolled out probably about 3 years into me being there, maybe 4 years.
That was pretty hot and heavy you were really hot and heavy in the company.
Yep.
It's funny. Nobody knows this, but I think when I was really getting to know you guys, Terry invited me to, I can't recall what it was. I don't know but you and I split a room.
Yeah. Yeah, we had that's right.
So, we split a room and I wasn't sure if they did that because they were really trying to figure me out. And they just wanted somebody there to make sure I wasn't a psycho killer. Like, if Rob dies, then, hey, we're cutting Doctor loose, man. There's nothing we want to do with him anymore.
He's called the doctor. I wonder why.
I'm very surgical.
Yeah.
Or what the deal was. But, it was cool to hang out with you and,
I think
be able to do that.
It was really because I think there was on my side of things, there was a big push to find a way to work with you. And I think I said that always from the beginning, right? Let's find a way to work together.
Yeah, because then you and Terry came to Tacoma, Washington.
Yeah. We wanted to see what you actually built and see it firsthand and understand, let's understand who this guy is.
Hang out. We had some meals together, took you guys to a couple cool locations around the city, things like that. Which that's just really cool flavor that we did during this relationship that we've had. So, okay, so let's get back on track here. So, you're working at the deck store.
Yeah.
And you're cranking out designs and you're doing your thing. Now, are you an employee of the deck store, or are you a subcontractor, or did that?
At the deck store, I was an employee. I was heavily invested as an employee there. So, we had, again, they seen a little bit of what I was wanting to do and where what I wanted to do with the company and stuff like that. And we had, we were in line. With certain goals. So it was bringing out the deck board. It was when we merged with and partnered with Paula France, joining, having his team join our team. It was one of those things that it was all about the design for me. And it was all about, obviously, finding the way to capitalize on making money on the builds. We had some really phenomenal builders on our team, so it was one of those things that you could throw something at them and they were willing to figure it out. They
Yeah, you guys had some really freaky stuff going on.
Yeah, it was
and
fun.
some of those TV shows that you guys were doing. Some very innovative, creative, with water and different pergolas and reverse pergolas and low hanging pergolas and all kinds of lot of overhead structure stuff.
Yeah, you know what? It was just one of those things of what can actually be done in the outdoors. Again, pushing that envelope of what we talk about it now, and it's a catchphrase, but what is biophilic design? What is bringing people outdoors and utilizing that space in nature? And it was fun because the team was on the same level of let's do something innovative and creative. Now, some of the stuff that you see on TV was made for TV, but in reality, too, I think it inspired a good portion of who's out there in the audience right now, and at least I hope that's all we're able to do.
Imagery is the best form of flattery. When you're a pioneer and you're paving the way, the thing is, I'm just going to say this, and it's more about you, okay? But when you're so above everybody else in what you with your skill set and your ability and just the way you think and the way you create, it inspires a lot of people. But there's not a lot of people that are going to catch you, man, because you're just like so high on the deal. But the thing is, you understand what your medium is.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. It means a lot to me.
Well, I'm not saying that to blow smoke.
No.
I'm saying it because it's true. Like, when you really look at what you can do, like what are you capable of, and then you do this really killer rendering, but then you drop it in another software to give it all the 3D effects and all this stuff, and then you create a video, and I'm just like, gosh, I just sit back in my chair. I'll sit back like this. And I'll just watch.
I think it goes back to the old school. It's like, it was like when, again, Windows 95, I say that. It's like being innovative, being forward, stepping outside the box, and, having the tools that understanding the tools. Like the software that I use, I mean, I went to for the software, I went to the school of self-taught. I went
Hard
there and
knocks,
studied.
baby.
Yeah, I studied it and I learned it. Did it cost me? Yeah, of course it cost me some blood and tears. But in regards to it, it's my goal was to be the very best that I could possibly be, and I think that's for everybody. That's the same thing.
I think you could have just stopped at saying the very best. Because in my opinion, and it's just an opinion, and I know there's other guys out there that are really good at this, okay? I'm not knocking anybody else's ability. I just really think that you're just so next level. I kind of quit paying attention to it because it just kept blowing my mind, And if you guys are listening to this and you think I'm just full of it, all you got to do is go to plug it. Robert, go.
Yeah, you've got
go where do we go? No, where do we go?
You go to
Give them a webpage. Give them a.
Yep, you can go to Deck Da Vinci on IG, or you can actually go to 33 North, which is beneficial to.
There it is.
That is the new company John and I put together. We partnered and we created so that we could do designs for everybody around the country.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna get to that, but we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, yep.
But we'll get back to it. But so if you guys really want to invest a few minutes in Robert, first of all, go follow him on Instagram. He might even drop a few, quick tips once in a while. Yeah. If you're into SketchUp and maybe I'll just get taught by Robert someday how to use it because I can't. Yeah. Because I don't know how. I'm uneducated on that platform. But anyway, so okay, so let's finish up with the deck store.
Yep.
Okay. So I remember that, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, but eventually you kind of decided, you know what? I'm so bad at this stuff that I'm going to just go out on my own.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of saying it. But yes, I thought, you know what? I think there was a bigger picture. I always had a bigger picture. and it was actually creating what is now 33 North. It
33
was,
North.
It's I seen being held to one location, one area, and designing had its limitations. And this goes back to being full of piss and vinegar and a lot of energy and wanting to do unique things. Being able to design right across North America, you know. I did it with Paul LaFrance. I was doing his designs for North America, but it was one of those things that I still felt the contractor, the builder, needed me to help them make money. And that was one of those things that the energies didn't align when it came to myself and Dextor, unfortunately, in that regards, and thought, you know what, I'm going to create Deck Da Vinci. He's a character, people will recognize him, and you know, let's approach these the marketplace a different way. And then that's when I started talking.
So you're
to
being
John
a little bit you're being a little limited on and who you could work for because you were so busy with the Deck Store, and they didn't want you like farming out stuff out of the way. So so that makes sense. Amicable split, no hard feelings. We wish you nothing but the best. Goodbye, Terry. And
absolutely
Stan.
Love those guys. Yeah, I absolutely love those guys.
You can still buy me lunch once in a while if you want.
Sure, absolutely.
Awesome. What a great experience that was. How did that go from there? So then, did you just start talking to John, or what? What was the
John and I,
factor on that?
and it's one of his major projects. I refer to it as the Grogan Project, and he was showcasing that as one of his projects out, and it was through NADRA. It was one of the competitions, and it was spread through social media, and I had a lot of admiration for it. I seen a lot of tricks that he did there. And at the same time, I was doing one of my cantilever decks over on a mountain cliff, and John had some admiration for that. So we just kind of had this conversation start picking up, where it's like I'm gonna go on my own, and he says, "Well, why don't we partner? Why don't we do something together?" And that's where it made sense to join the Dexcel team. John and I, we align on so many different levels that, and again, he sees the vision, and he was willing to participate in where the bigger picture was, or at least the direction that I wanted to go as a designer. So that's kind of where it went from. After that, I left the Deck Store, and it really, I didn't technically go on my own because I partnered with John right away.
Mm-hmm. The name of the design company, how did that come about?
The 33 North. We were playing around with a whole bunch of different names and stuff like that. And again, I didn't want to use myself, the Deck Da Vinci, because if I grow the team, Deck Da Vinci is really just a character. It's just a way to recognize. It was, and it wasn't the branding that I wanted to do, because I didn't want to limit myself just to decks. So we went to 33 North. We thought about where the location is in Georgia. And it's actually the longitude, latitude of the location. So it was one of those things that it just sounded cool. There's a little deep hidden secret behind that, and it felt kind of mysterious. And it's like, what, let's do this. I think this is in line of where we're going to go with this.
So you come up with this name, you get a website going. How long ago is this?
Oh, this was 33 North is only about 2 years old. It's we're in our second year now for designing for most of the guys that are a bunch of guys in the industry. I think I have about 35 different contractors around the country that I design for now.
Wow.
But with that, it's not everybody's done 100 jobs type of thing. There's a bunch that are very consistent, and then there's some that pop up once in a while. They may do only 10 projects a year. So,
Sure.
but
I can relate.
yeah, no, yeah,
Okay.
it was one of those avenues that, again, I think it was really what I found with doing 3D designs for people in the bigger picture and being able to show what can be done in the yard. And one of my first questions when I tell people is like, let's not limit ourselves to the house and the deck. Let's talk about what your big plans are, or a master plan of the whole backyard. And what happened with that, and that's actually where, some other avenues of deck self came, pool self came, and stuff like that. It was, let's not limit ourselves to the rest of the yard, or just to the house. Let's talk about the porch. Let's talk about the hot tub. Let's talk about the pool. Let's talk about everything, because every action has a reaction. How a space flows from one area to another all reacts to, it has to be well planned out. It has to flow properly. It has to feel right. It just doesn't have to be plopped everywhere. And it was one of those items that we increased revenue for a lot of people by showing 3D designs and being able, people can actually visualize their space. Now it gets a little bit over the top, where I do have a disclaimer of it's not, it's conceptual drawing and not for construction, because I spend so much time on making all the exact materials, all the exact railing systems, all the exact, components that we use in our day-to-day builds. And for people to visualize it, it would take a $50,000 job and turn it into a $200,000 job, just because people could see what they were getting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that was the bigger picture.
Creating all those models takes time, man.
Yeah. Well,
what kind of a computer are you designing on right now?
So I run two supercomputers. They're both Alienwares.
Awesome.
They are fully over the top, I guess you can say. Between processors, between graphic cards, if you go on Alienware, you see, you pick say a tower, and you see the basic limitations. Slide all your buttons over to the right, and that's what I'm running. So
yeah, are they liquid cooled?
yes, everything's liquid cooled.
Oh man,
it
you're
basically,
all in, bro.
If I was into crypto, I could probably do some banking.
No kidding. Yeah, you just need a more bigger power supply, right? So
we actually did that to the house.
Like a $20,000 computer.
Yeah, we increased the power supply to the house. So yeah, and
did you? Really, just for your PCs?
Yes.
Wow, man, that's incredible. Yeah. So like you have a 400 amp service or something, or what?
Well, what it is. It's efficiencies. If I have any slag, that's a deficiency for me. So I have to make sure everything's running. So
are you backed up with do you have like a battery backup that you run?
No, if the power goes out, the power goes out, and I finally get a breather, I guess. I get.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
Yeah. So I mean, if I do have a neighbor that does have a generator, so if I have to really power up, I probably could. But
cool.
Yeah, we're one of those things that it's we're in a good area that we don't really have too many downfalls like that.
And what type of monitors are you using for when you're designing? And are you on a single monitor or multiple monitors?
No, I have 5 monitors in total. Yeah, all 27-inch 4K Samsungs. So again, efficiency for me is key. So I run 2 supercomputers, and efficiency is key. So I need things to move quickly. As quick as I'm moving, pretty much, so it's one of those things that, the system's pretty heavy, but that's the tools that I need to do my job, and
Yeah, no, understood. It's like if I didn't have heating blankets, I'd be sunk.
That's right.
You know, so I get it. You got to have something that's like incredibly on point. And then are you designing with a mouse or a thumb wheel or what?
I am a mouse guy. So I'm still old school that way. I have to design. I have to click. You know, now is it a raisin, you know, mouse, or you know, I've got a couple running, but it's one of those things that I need it to move again comfortably and something that fits my hand, because with age, you know, carpal tunnel starts happening. You know, so we have to. It's got to feel good.
I have it now too.
Yeah.
So what brand mouse? What are you using for a mouse when you're designing?
Actually, everything that I'm using right now is all Alienware.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good plug for Alienware there.
Yeah.
Just send us a couple computers. We'll
That's
put
it.
them to good use.
Just slide it all to the right.
How cool is that? Dude, we need to get you a sponsorship with Alienware. That would be cool.
Yeah. Well,
okay, so let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Do it. Let's do it.
Hey, yes. So just in case people are curious, or you're listening to this and not watching on our YouTube channel, Robert's been talking about John Lee, who is the owner of Deck South in Georgia. And he was on our podcast quite a few guests ago. He's one of the top builders in the nation, and probably one of the best guys that you could have ever partnered with, because he's straight up legit, honest guy, and I have a spiritual connection with the man as well. So that I was really happy for you when I found all this out, but I was a little late to the game. I mean, I just didn't realize or know or whatever, and it's just really cool that people in the industry are combining their skills and their abilities to create a business that will thrive, you know?
Yeah. Well, collaboration is king, right? It's one of those things that I think that's one of the best things about our industry, you know, and here's a plug to Nadra for that. But I mean, you know, it brings people together, and it's, you know, in some industries they're very catty, very, you know, everybody's at each other's throat. In our industry, we're embracing everybody with a hug, and, you know, finding out ways that we can work together. And I think that's what I really personally fell in love with myself, you know. You know, I think
almost everybody.
Yeah, almost everybody. There's a select few that might have a different opinion.
There's a couple on the outside that are a little rough around the edges, but we won't talk about that. Maybe in the bonus episode we'll talk about that.
Sure.
But not right now.
Yeah.
This is too good. Okay, so we got about 10, 15 minutes left, Robert. This is the time where I like to well, I also want to ask you, what do you have any hobbies, or I know you're married.
Yeah.
And do you have any hobbies that you like to do outside of your work stuff?
You know what? For me, it's spending time with I have a dog. I have no children, so it's me, my wife, and my dog. The other side is actually I've reacquainted myself back with the gym. So working out is really my hobby now. I make sure I spend my time in the gym or on the bike and stuff like that, because hey, we're getting older, so gotta take care of ourselves. Yeah. You know, I do sit in front of a computer all day, so sometimes in between
health
renders,
is wealth. I mean, it's no joke, right?
Yeah. So I usually I guess that's what you could call my hobby, and I still pull out the pad of paper and the pencil and sketch too. So I do like to spend some time sketching, and I have love for tattoos and different things like that, even though I don't have any. So I do like sketching out tattoos. I think if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I'd probably be a tattoo artist. So, you
know what, Robert? I'm going to give you a challenge right now. I'm going to give you a challenge. Okay.
Yeah.
I want you to design me a tattoo, and I will go get it done. If I'm in love with it, I'll go ink up. I haven't gotten one in a while, and it's probably time for me to like add a little art. But it's and I think if I had you do it, I think that I would be really proud of it. Well, and I don't know what.
Yeah, we'll talk about a subject matter. We'll collaborate.
Yeah, that would be really cool, man.
That'd be fun.
We're gonna open up a whole nother avenue.
Yep. No,
even the tattoo artist would be like, "Who did this?"
It's an outlet. It's somewhere else,
Well, how cool would it be? Like, the tattoo artists are going to say, man, there's this guy that designs tattoos. He's awesome.
No. I don't think we'll go that far. I think I found my specialty.
Sure. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
You never know, brother. You never know.
Hey,
cool. So you like to work out?
Yeah, I like spending time in the gym, and that's about it. It keeps it keeps me healthy. It actually allows me to decompress. So, I run hot, so it's a way to decompress.
Cool.
Yep.
So do you have how many vehicles do you guys have? Are you into cars at all, or motorcycles? Or anything?
No motorcycles. It's one of those things. I want to get on a Harley. I want to ride, but never went and took the investment towards it yet. But other than that, we just got our personal vehicles, and that's about it.
Okay, Robert.
Yeah.
So you have is 33 North.
Yep.
Is that like your full-time gig right now?
No. I still design fully for Deck South.
Okay.
And what I do for Deck South versus what I do for everybody else is a little different. I'll do, or I'll participate in the permit application for Deck South. We just recently hired on an architect to join myself and the engineer at Deck South. So it was one of those things that I wanted to alleviate some of my responsibilities. So we brought in an architect, but for a while there, probably the first 3 years, I was doing all the permit drawings plus all the 3D renders for Deck South.
Wow.
It's now that 33 North is picked up to the level that it is. It's one of those things that we brought in somebody else to start taking off that load of the permit drawings, because obviously that's very time consuming, and it takes me away from my mindset of being creative on the design side of things.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a little more mundane doing permit drawings and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I know that, and you're doing that per the location that the city is in, or that the jurisdiction so your drawings have to change. And I know that John has really had to go through quite a few hurdles.
Yeah, I was joining the Deck South team. I thought Ontario, Canada was bad for permits, and the requirements for what was necessary for each drawing on the engineering side versus materials reports and safety reports. I almost felt Ontario and California were the two worst. And then I met John and found out about Georgia, and I mean, what we have to design down there, and how what we're actually limited to design, even though they got some vast properties and lots of land, there's these setback requirements, the 75-year flood plain that we have to worry about, and we have to, it's pretty, you got to jump through quite a few hoops, and we've got a great team that helps us get through that in dealing with the permit process. But I mean, it's not, there's other areas that have a lot more luxuries than Georgia, for sure.
Yeah, and I've also noticed some of the steel that he's been custom fabbing on some of these larger projects. Yeah. Are they using helical piles down there?
No, which I was very surprised, because we used helicals up here. They're still pouring concrete down there, and they do have a different method of build that I was used to, especially at the beginning. But yeah, the use of steel, I think that was one of our things that, John and I were both looking at each other going, we want to open up these spaces. Why do we need to, dig so many posts and stuff like that, and block sight lines? And so let's span. I think we did a roof line to 42 feet. We've done a deck up to 31. So it's one of those things that it's fun. It's like, how else can we expand?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm a minimalist as well, so I like having free spans whenever I can.
Yeah.
But it goes, when you go big spans, you got to go big beams, and you either got to go with laminated stuff or steel.
Yeah.
And then some of the bracketry, your custom bracketry that he was having to make, and the plate steel and things like that, just to keep things from swaying and stuff is like, wow, man,
Yeah,
that is
the
pretty
moment
heavy duty.
plates and different things like that.
Yeah.
It's a beast. But that's one thing I'll say as a blessing is the team at Dexelt, like the builders. They've dealt with some hurdles, and they're really good at it. So
Cool.
yeah.
Right on. Okay, so you work. So how many hours a day are you working for Deck South?
Well, again, it varies. It depends on what the workload is and what's happening. So, I mean, traditionally, I'll say it more by how many designs a day. So I'll run at least a minimum 2 designs plus markups and changes throughout the day. So, again, and that varies depending on how busy people are. I make myself available. I still have a challenge with the difference between, Canadian holidays and U.S. holidays. So sometimes I pick and choose which one I'm actually going to take for a day off. But the reality to it, it's like if a job needs to get done, I'm going to go and get it done. That's a commitment that I made to trying to improve some of these guys' lives. So
Pretty cool that you can work that remote on a company that, in essence, you really kind of need to be present for. Except for the part that you do, you can deliver a vision from anywhere.
Yeah, you know what? It's the fun part of it, and I'm glad I kind of learned some of the software that's out there quickly, and some of the stuff that we're using between JobTread or Company Cam, or I use a program called Hover to capture the house. One of the biggest flaws that I found was, people pulling measuring tape on a house and getting inaccurate or insufficient measurements to me. So the tools that are out there now and the technology allows me to be pretty accurate. Like my house measurements are 1/8 off, and that's the most important, from elevation, grade to window placements. God forbid I want to put a post where there's a window, so it's one of those things that the technology really takes place, and being able to absorb, the ability to use that technology is key for what I do.
So let me get this straight. You're using software that can give you the wall lengths of the house and tell you where all the windows and stuff are?
Yeah, you take 8 pictures of the house minimum. If you've got a clear view, 8 pictures of the house, and it makes a SketchUp model of the house.
Okay.
It's a rudimentary model of the house. It's got the walls, it's got the window placements, it's got a roof on it. But what that does is saves me at least 2 hours of designing, 2 to 6 hours designing a house. And I'm from the old school method of, again, every action has a reaction. So what the house looks like means a lot to me on the design side. So I put a lot of effort on making sure that house is 100% accurate. And this gives me the ability to do that, quickly and efficiently.
So you have somebody down in Georgia that snaps the house. And is there a certain quality of photo you're looking for? Can it be just from a camera phone or iPhone or something?
Yeah, so what happens with the Hover app is you download the Hover app, and you can do this. If we were working together and you found a job and you took 8 pictures of the house on all corners of the house that you could see the roof to the ground, and just take those 8 pictures around the house, it will give you a digital documentation. It's big in the roofing industry and the siding industry, and even for windows and stuff like that. It's big for that marketplace. But I found a way, or a lot of guys that do what I do, found a way to capture the house, and allows us to work remotely. But the accuracy of those photos, not every house, if you've got one with a lot of foliage in front of it and stuff like that, you may not get a full house, so you may have to go old school to get those measurements. But in most cases, we can capture the house, and we spend quite a few dollars on the program to do it. But what we get back in return on the efficiency side is, it's accurate. Cool. It saves me time, so it's very beneficial.
Cool. Okay, Robert. So that's what you're kind of in currently. So
Yep.
what do you see for Robert Hodachak
Yep.
or the Deck Da Vinci or 33 North, or what's next for you?
I think it's really actually building the team. Having a team underneath me that, and again, expanding on the design side of things. I think there's a level of design that's available, and people haven't really touched upon it yet. Again, you got to find the right customers that are a little forward and able to, willing to do it. But I think there's, pushing this envelope of biophilic design and bringing people outdoors and capturing, the syncrasies of nature versus what we do and the structures that we build. I think I want to push that envelope a little bit further. And if it's a matter, I had fun just recently building a thing called the Barnuminium, which is completely new to me.
Sure.
Very popular in the South because, you guys can get away with it. In Canada, we can't. The conversion of bringing a steel structure to our value would be too unrealistic. So, but that was fun designing. So is it a matter of designing houses? Is it a matter of designing different things? I think, I don't know where that goes, but I have fun doing that, and when I get to push the envelope or step outside my comfort zone, it gets exciting for me.
Robert,
Yep.
I thank you so very much for being here. You've been an awesome guest of ours, and so let's let everybody know one more time how they can find you, how they can get a hold of you. If you're interested in an email, leaving that, whatever you want to plug right now, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess obviously the socials are the easiest way. You can follow me either at Deck Da Vinci. You can see our work with Deck South following Deck South, and then watching the videos and the renders that we do on 33 North. If you're a builder yourself and you're looking for, you don't have the time or the energy or the ability to do the designs yourself, and you're looking for somebody to take you to the next level in regards to that. Reach out to us at 33 North because that's what we do. We only design for the builders and contractors. We don't design for the homeowner. So you're my liaison to
I see.
To that market.
That's an important notice, because a lot of contractors, that might be more attractive to them, that the client can't just go right over the top of them and come to you.
Yep.
And you're farming out to them, so that's a good one.
And it's all white labeled, so my name isn't on it. It's in 33 North isn't on it. It's white labeled with your logo on it, so oh
wow.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that this is it's for you to increase your revenue.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We might have to have you back, or maybe we'll talk. Maybe we can talk about this in the bonus episode.
Sure.
So I'm gonna. We're coming to the end of this podcast, so if you enjoyed it, don't forget to follow Robert and tag along and see what he's up to. He does the most amazing deck and all kinds of cool designs, graphic art, all kinds of cool stuff. And if you're interested in hearing more about Robert, stay tuned and go subscribe to our Patreon channel, and you're going to get a little bit more if you do. So thank you so much, Robert, for being here. We appreciate it. Calvin, hit that music. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Thanks for being here, and thank you for listening to the Dr. Dex podcast. Over and out.
Thank you.